Hey there, welcome to the UnPack Pittsburgh podcast. We are at Sandbox VR in the Strip District, right in the terminal. My name's Alaina. Today here we have Bryan, the store manager, Jimmy, Jorgely, and our host, Bryan.
Yeah, so thank you. We just had a great experience. We actually got to do one of, I'll call it a mission, but I'm not sure if that's the right terminology.
So we call them experiences.
Okay, great word. So we just did one of the experiences that involved zombies, so it would be cool to get everybody's, take on that. But first, why don't you just talk a little bit about yourself, your role here, and kind of what the offering is, so if someone's interested in coming here, what they should know about this place.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So like you said, my name is Bryan. I'm the store manager here. Pretty much what we are, it's a fully immersive VR experience. So what you would do, you would choose one of our 7 different experiences, and then we fully gear you up in all the VR equipment you need. So that includes, you have wrist and ankle trackers. They track your hand movements, your leg movements when you're in there, so you can see yourself moving around. You have a fully haptic feedback vest, which what that means is when you get shot, when you get bit, anything happens to you in experience, you feel that vibration, so you know what's happening. We also have the Vive headsets, which that's pretty much where you're seeing all the action, and then soundproof headphones to go with it, and then microphones so you guys can actually talk to each other during the experiences.
Yeah, it was closest to plugging into the Matrix that I've ever been, so it's pretty cool. So, we can start with you guys. You can introduce yourself, too, a little bit more, but just talk about the experience that we just had.
Yeah, well, my name's Jorgely, and I did not expect it, to be the experience that it was, but it was really fun, and it was very immersive, like you said. You could definitely feel everything. It feels like you're in a zombie apocalypse, literally. That's what we did, and it was a lot of fun, but yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. You could see the battle scars still on my face from the VR. No, it was a lot of cool. I had the chainsaw. It was
That's
nice.
an important part,
yeah.
picking the weapon.
Yeah, that was a tough choice.
Are you happy with the weapons you picked?
I was happy. I want to shout out I was the MVP of the match.
I got second place.
No, it was a lot of fun. I never did anything like this before. I saw a post of it, but it was cool to actually do it, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool because we're on a team, but we're still trying to fight for first place, the most kills. So it's still competitive.
It was golf. I was trying to get the least, and I accomplished that. So.
Yeah, wrong game.
Because you got the best
wrong game.
You said. Yeah, you did. I almost lost a tooth during this, but it was for the zombies. So, what would you want to tell someone who wants to This is a completely different VR experience. I don't have a lot of video game background and things like that, but for me, I had no idea what to expect. I expected it to be a little kind of cheap or something like that, but it really was pretty wild. There was one point where something jumped out of the damn side window, and literally you get startled. What would you want someone who's never tried something like this to know? Always working.
Business calls.
So I always like to tell everyone, it's kind of like the Oculus on steroids, because a lot of people have VR headsets at home, and this isn't very dissimilar to that. You can even get some of our equipment online. The difference between that and us is all the extra equipment that you have, like the haptic feedback vest, like the trackers that you don't have at home, and we have the rooms and everything for you guys. So, and it is definitely a lot more fun with more players. You guys got to play with 4 people, but depending on the experience, the more people you have, the more enemies spawn. So you kind of adds to that team effort and everything. Because like you said too, you want to you're obviously all on a team, but you're trying to get the higher score.
Yes.
So it makes it competitive, but also fun because you're working as a team, but also trying to beat your teammates while you're doing it.
Well, business is booming.
Yeah, I played at an Oculus before. One of my friends had an Oculus headset.
We have one at home too.
Yeah. and it was. It's a big difference, I think.
Yeah, well, because here you have you see your full body.
Right. And it's vibrating and the wind's blowing and.
Yeah, the fans. That was fun.
It's also a lot of fun that you could play with each other too, because you don't have to take turns switching the headset around.
I always wondered how people don't run into walls, but it was cool to have that red line. Just as because you get caught up, you start running after him, you want to kill him, and all of a sudden, I saw the red line, that little red grid came up. I'm like, okay, don't run it, don't be that guy.
Well, and it's typically the adults who run into the walls. We have a lot of kids that play, and normally they're fine. It's the adults when they're getting really into it and they're not paying attention, and then you just hear that thud.
Oh,
most of the time, it's all right.
I don't think any of us hit the wall, right?
Yeah, you guys were pretty good.
Yeah.
You were staying in the boundary the whole time, which is impressive.
Yeah.
I almost did.
It was cool though, because I thought we were gonna be in one spot the whole time. It seemed but it kept lifting us and bringing us to different areas, so that made it really interesting too.
What's your favorite experience of the ones you offer?
So you guys got to do Deadwood Valley. That's like the action zombie one. My personal favorite is probably, it's called Dragonfire Seekers of the Shard. We only released it, I think it was end of May, early June, but it's like medieval fantasy. Like you pick one of 3 different classes, and then you're fighting with swords, axes, and then the end game is to pretty much get to this dragon. But we have a new thing that we just released with that experience where it has like loot boxes. So say you're playing the first time, you get these loot boxes throughout the experience. If you come back for a second experience, you get to keep that gear that you acquired. So it's like you're upgrading as you play.
Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. And the chainsaw was probably my highlight. I'm not gonna lie. That was because we were shooting this thing on the ground, and then all of a sudden your chainsaw came in. And
Yeah, that was my go-to move. You gotta get him down with the chainsaw and then shoot him with the pistol.
Yeah, it's so realistic.
Don't call him Jimmy Muscles for nothing. So how long has this been open, right?
So we opened very early June. We did like a soft opening June 1st.
Okay.
Company's been around since 2017 though, but this is the first one and pretty much the only VR experience you can have in all of PA right now.
Okay.
So nearest source to us, we have some in Ohio, but pretty much this is it for PA.
So for someone who wants to book it, I assume a group like us could do it. Other parties, private events, what kind of stuff do you offer for that?
Oh yeah, so we offer both public and private. So public, pretty much anyone can come in. So say you were coming in like a Tuesday afternoon for a certain experience. If you have other people that are doing the same experience, you might even be coupled up with them. Happens a lot, especially on weekends. Or you could do a private experience, where you either book the entire room for yourself, or we do offer things like parties, things like that, like the room we're in right now. It's our party room. We do things like bachelor parties, birthday parties. If you just go to the website too, there's actually a section called Events and Parties where we have an off-site event coordinator who kind of handles all that stuff. But you can either book online, you can call the store, or we do accept walk-ins as well.
How many people can you get in one room?
Right now it's 6.
6?
Yeah, we kind of advise, 4 or 5, is kind of the better number. Like 6 is great, but you really want to enjoy all that room and everything.
Oh, for sure, you don't want to get smacked in the face.
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like 4 for us was that was a
4
good.
was right. 'Cause
Yeah.
we went into it.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure.
You can go a little crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, more room to go. It was cool because one of the first questions you even might ask when we were going is like, how does the scenery change? And it was cool. Like she alluded to how we got picked up on a cargo thing and then a helicopter or something like that. So you weren't in the same place for about 30 minutes. I think we did. Is that
just under? Yeah.
Is that normally the duration of an experience?
Yeah, between 25 to 30 for an experience. And the entire session you will do, it's about 40 to 45 minutes. So that includes the gameplay. You get a beginning tutorial with the staff member and everything, and then we show recap videos that are taken throughout the experience as well.
Yeah, that was. You talk about that.
Those videos were awesome. Make sure you guys check the Instagram. Those will be posted. They were fun.
Yeah, talk about it. What it was.
It was like a music video. It was a highlight video of us inside, and then it'll show what we saw.
Yeah, and dance offs.
Yeah, talk about the dance.
Dance off was really fun. Alaina was getting down.
Yeah, I was.
She was the what? You were the unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then they have they'll take a picture of what your gamer tag would be. So feel free to be silly with that too. Yeah.
Well, and each experience too. So they all have the recap video where it essentially makes a trailer for you. So that's you're pretty much in your own movie. And they were saying, obviously the one you did had the dance video. Each one has a different video at the end. So I won't spoil that, but every single one's a little different.
All right. So
There's
you have to
also
try
one
all
too.
of them.
Exactly. Yeah. There's also one too where say you're having a birthday party. If you let the guides know ahead of time, we can put that information into the system. So instead of as special video, you're in pretty much a virtual birthday party. And there's a virtual cake, balloons. They sing happy birthday to you.
Oh, that's
So there's a couple
sweet.
different
That's
things.
really cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
What would you say? Do you get a lot of younger parties, or is it adults? Who comes here?
I've seen a wide range. I'd say typically 18 to about 40s our main. But I've seen as young as 6 years old come in. I've seen 70-year-olds do this. So there's really no age limit or requirement. And you would think too you would have a lot of gamers. Honestly, we get some video gamers, but for the most part it's just random people off the street who are I want to check this out.
Yeah.
And I think they do better than the video gamers, if I have to be honest, because someone who plays video games, they come in here expecting it to be a certain thing, and it's not. It's totally different. So you get, they're coming in all proud, oh, I'm going to be awesome, and then they're not getting that MVP spawn. They're oh,
I feel like that's what happened to me, actually.
Definitely, that happened to you.
I was talking smack, and then I saw
Last place?
I thought first was at the bottom. Apparently, it wasn't.
You said your gun was.
Yeah, my gun. I think I forgot to use it. The equipment worked great. I just forgot to use it.
I guess what's your favorite part about like working here? Like what do you enjoy most about this job?
Honestly, it's the guest interaction. We have a lot of just one-on-one time with the guests and parties that come in.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun job. It's different than going and just doing a boring 9 to 5. Like, I'm coming here and putting you guys in virtual reality experiences. Like, that is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So it's just fun. Like, and it's a good company, too. Like, everyone here that I've met, we're kind of on like an island right here.
Mm-hmm.
We only have about 41 stores, and they're all over the place. So we really don't have a lot of interaction with anyone on the corporate level or anything.
Okay.
But everyone I've met has been great, and they're pretty much like, "Here, Pittsburgh, you're on your own, have fun." But it works for us, so it's great.
What are your hours right now?
So Monday through Thursday, we're open 10 in the morning till about 11. Our last booking time you can get in, I think it's like 10:40. Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we were open 10 to midnight every night. And that'll go on until probably, I think, end of August is when they switch it back to our like normal operating hours.
How often do the experiences change? You mentioned the Dragon's a little newer. Like, how often do you cycle through, bring new in, or is it like you have your staples?
So we pretty much have the staples right now. There's the 7 to choose from at the moment. We do have Squid Games. That's going to be released sometime in September.
No.
And then after that, I'm not sure what the plan is, but it seems like
I'm not
everything
coming in
else is
last for
working out.
that. That's real. I learned my lesson. I was injured half the.
You can come in beforehand and practice. You know. We'll
Yeah,
just
I'm
pretend
going
you
to.
weren't
I'm
there, so.
like,
Next time you have to
That's
pick.
my
You have to
name.
pick the chainsaw next time.
I'm not losing next time. I'll tell you that. So.
Well, I mean, this was like really fun for me. Like, I don't play video games or anything, so I feel like this is for everyone that just like wants to get a group of friends and do something different. Like, especially in Pittsburgh, sometimes you run out of ideas. So this is a perfect thing to come try with your friends.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, there's obviously you go to bars, you can go to restaurants, you can go bowling. I like golfing, but this is something that I would, if we didn't meet you, I would have never done this in my life. I'm sure. Like, so hopefully more people, more groups come to expose something like this, because it was it was like the right amount of time in my opinion. I think we all kind of agreed like it was the right perfect time. It didn't feel like it was too short or anything. Like, it didn't feel like it was too long. It was perfect. But definitely worth trying out if you're anywhere near the Strip District. But do you have any last words or any last questions before? Rob, I know you're busy. The phone's blowing up. Like, we're very thankful.
We gotta let them go.
No, I mean, I can't think of anything, but honestly, it was really nice having you guys here. I'm glad you had a good experience.
What's your Instagram for here?
I'll get it for you.
Okay.
We have a marketing offline.
Do you have the
I
Sandbox
found
VR
it.
Instagram?
Like the
Yeah.
sand.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah,
Sandbox
I pulled it up
VR?
right before we started.
Let's pull it up.
Let me look.
Sandbox VR.
Just want to make sure we say the right handle for the people for the audio podcast.
Just is this the right one?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's just Sandbox VR.
Wow.
That has a
One
check
word.
mark.
Wow, you're
They're certified.
Wow, verified.
Verified.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man, you're the big deal. You didn't even know.
I knew they were the big deal when we walked in. Everything's super high tech.
Yeah, it is high tech.
It is a great experience from start to finish. So we really appreciate you having us, and it was fantastic. So
Yeah, definitely.
say where we are. Okay?
Yep. Sandbox VR in the Strip District.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.